What up, everybody? It's Diego kicking it with you right here on the Asylum. Today's guest, you see it, Tarek from the Blue Stones. What's up, brother? How you doing?
What's happening, Diego?
So you've been a busy dude. We're just gonna jump into it. Been a
Yeah,
busy guy. UK tour. How was it?
it was great. Yeah, the shows were just like electrified. Honestly, I feel like it's nice to play for really anybody, but to be able to go out to like the UK and Europe and hit all these cities that we don't really get a lot of chance to even visit and have all these people come out to shows and sell out shows and whatnot. Like it's amazing. Like our fan base is just an awesome fan base to play to anywhere in the world. And
Nice.
it's great.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
It
fun.
that wasn't your first. Was that your first trip over to
No,
the
no,
UK?
that would have been, I think, like the fourth time that we
Okay.
had been over. Yeah, that's the
Okay.
fourth time. The first few times it was opening, and then we did a couple of headline tours, including this one. So,
Nice. Nice. What's
yeah.
your favorite spots? What's your favorite hot spots? Whether it be
Oh,
food or just venue or just scenery overall.
I mean, the best venue that we played. Oh, I'm trying to think of. Oh, yeah, it was in Antwerp, Belgium.
Nice.
In
Okay.
Antwerp. I can't remember the name of it now for whatever reason, but it had like the largest green room area I've ever seen. It was like this huge artist complex for a venue with catering and like pinball machines and like
Okay.
places to sleep and
Nice.
different like showers. Like it was really, really amazing. So that for us was great. But my favorite cities are Amsterdam has always been probably my favorite city in the world. And then outside of that, I would say London, UK.
Nice. Nice. Hell yeah. Yeah, and so I'm out of Nashville, and you guys are about to hit Nashville in a few weeks, and I'll let you
Yes.
know. I think you guys are playing the Basement East. Maybe we'll link up, and I'll tell you ahead of time. Don't judge the green room, my guy. There's no pinball machines. You got to kind of
Okay.
move around like
No,
this,
it's
but,
listen, I know I
but
got
we'll
the
have
taste of the
water.
sweet life. Okay. As long as there's water and a washroom, I'm good.
That's it. That's it. We're down. There, we are there. We are
Okay,
there. If you're
cool,
just
cool.
joining us,
I've actually heard a lot of great things about Basement East, so
oh, bro, like
yeah.
it's one of the I call it one of the sleepy venues in Nashville. Like it's
Okay.
not really a sleepy venue though. I don't know why I always say that, but it's I guess maybe because it's not Bridgestone, it's not on Second Avenue. It's not just, hey, look at me. It's just a really badass venue. Great shows are there constantly, constantly. Just now joining us, Tarek from the Blue Stones. They just got off their UK tour. They are about ready to hit the road again. March, good Lord, May 17th,
May 17th.
Cambridge, Mass, which that tour will run all the way through the rest of the summer, right? Until August. I think your last stop, or excuse
No,
me, June 23rd.
June 23rd. Yeah, that
Yeah.
that makes that sounds a lot more familiar. Yeah, so we're actually doing it a little bit differently where there's two legs to this tour. So like the first 2 weeks we're gonna be in the East Coast and the last 2 weeks the West Coast and a little bit of Southern US, including Texas.
Do you find that better? Like, is that good or bad? Or like once
I
you get
mean,
on tour, are you in tour mode and then you stop and you're like, oh shit, here we go? Or is that refreshing?
it's kind of refreshing. I don't mind. It's so easy to get around now. Like I literally wake up in, the West Coast and get back to my place in within like the same morning. So it's really not that big of a deal to like take a pause in between the tour. And I feel like it's a nice way to recharge, especially with the tour that we have because I think there's like it kicks off with 5 or 6 shows in a row.
Yeah.
Which like it can be pretty taxing on the body
Yes.
and on the
Yes.
mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now. Like, yeah, you guys hit May 18th through the 21st nonstop, and that's
Yeah, like
no,
17,
I'm sorry,
18,
17th.
19,
My bad. Yeah,
20, 21. So there's 5 shows in a row, and then I think a day off for travel, and then it's Nashville.
and then it's Nashville. So you
Yeah.
so you guys get a little recharge day, and then we'll get you here. And
Yes, you get us rested.
you guys are playing with the Velveteers, correct?
Yes, the Velveteers.
Hell yeah, hell
Really,
yeah.
really great band.
So definitely
I,
definitely
I,
looking forward to that.
admittedly, I just heard about them. We did a tour last summer with Des Rocks, and he was talking about them. So I've just heard about them recently, and we're very excited to have them with us for sure.
Nice, nice. So yeah, it's big old tour. You guys had an album out last year, Pretty Monster, correct?
Yeah.
That was 2022 release,
Mhm.
and now you got the new single. But what comes with that single, I'm not a gamer, but I do love video games. I love sports games. So this one, my eyes lit up. You guys are on the new MLB 2K23 soundtrack. First of
Yes.
all, hell yeah. Secondly, how take me through that process? Are you just chilling at the house one day and you get a call from like whoever does those games nowadays,
Yeah.
it's not EA, but they're like, "Hey, we wanna put you on the soundtrack, like, walk us through it." Like,
It
how'd that happen, bro?
it's we have a publishing company, and that company is always kind of keeping their eye out for opportunities, but in some cases, the actual companies that want to use our music will just reach out directly, or they'll reach out through our label. So I guess I don't know exactly how this one came about. I think it was our publishing company that set this one up, but we'd always wanted to be on a video game soundtrack, especially like a sports game.
Yeah.
And I mean, finding out that we were on MLB is great because honestly, I feel like the soundtrack is pretty tight on MLB.
It
It's
is.
pretty tight. Like there's, I want to say like 10 to 12 songs. I don't know.
I think right around there, yeah.
MLB 23, what is it? Song list or
And you guys are
soundtrack.
on there with, like, some pretty badass artists, Mac Miller,
Yes.
Juice WRLD,
Y-
Crystal Method,
Yes. Oh, okay. A little
Balloon
longer than I
Tone.
thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
A
I
little
I think
longer
it's
than I thought, but yeah, man, you're absolutely right. Like we are in some really, really great company on this soundtrack. Like super,
so
super and honored.
are you a sports guy?
I am. I'm not quite a baseball guy, but I am a sports guy. And right now
What
I'm
what
like,
what's your drug of choice?
well, I mean, playoff hockey right now is like,
There it is, there it is.
oh
I
my
'cause
God.
you guys are Ontario, right? You're from
Yeah,
Ontario.
yeah, I can't quite say I'm a Leafs fan. Like I feel like I do root for I root for Canadian teams,
There you go.
but I can't quite say that I'm a Leafs fan. So I mean, they managed to stay alive that last game, and we'll see what happens this upcoming.
Right, right.
And I'm
'Cause
not really sure when this is going to air. By the way, like I don't know if it's like going to
yeah,
be way well past.
you could prognosticate and be the new hero of all Leafs fandom and just say, "Man, it was awesome that they come back from that 3-1 deficit and just throw the
Wow.
world on its head." No.
Yeah. I can't believe they won the cup.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it's so crazy. But truthfully, I mean, I'm sorry to all the Leafs fans out there, but I feel like I have more faith in the Oilers than I do the Leafs, to be
Yeah,
honest. Yeah.
Edmonton has been a beast all year long. I'm a sports
Yeah.
guy too, but when it comes to hockey, I'm toothless because I'm a diehard Sharks fan. I'm from the
Oh,
Bay
of
Area.
course.
We are never gonna win anything, and I accept that now, but we got real badass jerseys, so there.
Yeah, you
That
do
that
have real badass jerseys.
that's all we have in San Jose for
That's how
hockey.
I felt about the Raiders for so long, like when they were Oakland Raiders. Like
Yep.
there was a period of time where they were just like not great, but like God, the merch looks so good.
Oh,
Like the
bro,
jerseys
you
and the hats, and like people would wear it just because it looked cool.
right, and you
Like the
can't go
NY
wrong.
hat.
Yep, you can't go
Yeah.
wrong with silver and black. That's my conundrum I constantly live in for 40 years now, is being from the Bay Area. Clearly, I have a thing for black, but I'm a Niners fan, so it's like, shit.
Yeah, you
Okay,
gotta
so
wear red and gold.
yeah,
That's tough for a black wearing person.
well, I can mix in the red, as you can see. I mix in the red every now and gold, not so
Sure,
much, not
sure.
so much. I don't quite make the money to get the grill,
Wow.
but when I do, maybe
Black and
that's where the
gold
gold comes
though.
in. Black
Black
and
and
gold.
gold is a solid look.
But here's where the sports crazy person comes in on me now. Black and gold is
Oh,
now for the Vegas Knights, and that
that's
is
true.
not gonna happen up in here, sir. Not
That's
up in
true.
here.
That's true. I commend your dedication, Video.
It's a I just can't do it. It's one of those things. That even fantasy sports anymore, I tried playing them, and I just found myself rooting for players on teams that I
Yeah,
just and I
yeah.
so I just stopped. I was like, "No, this is too stressful. I've already went bald. I don't need to go more bald by aging myself for this shit." So, no, but it's all good. So, yeah, that's a big deal, dude. Being on a sports soundtrack, that is like that's mind-blowing. That for me, I mean, as an artist, I think that would be right up there. So, like, what are some of your like, I read a lot of articles about the band and on you in particular. You have a lot of different influences, like I like to play the games of like, what's your top 10 this or all time favorite that. So, like, top 5 albums, whether it be influential albums or
Hmm.
just chilling albums or like can't miss. If you don't go listen to these albums, you're a loser. Go for it.
Okay. Wow, that's tough. So I'm probably just gonna go off the top of my head with the ones that kind of influence me the most. I would probably say Mute Math's Odd Soul. So that like Mute Math's a huge influence on both of us when we were kind of like starting to create music ourselves. So Mute Math's Odd Soul, and honestly, even a shout out to Mute Math, their like original, their debut.
Yeah.
Um, I would also say Rush of Blood to the Head, Coldplay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Just like man, Coldplay. I know they've become what they've become, like a pop sensation, but like those early albums are just like a clinic in songwriting,
It was like legit,
a
like legit.
clinic in songwriting, and like that to me is like that's great songwriting for an alternative band, you
Mhm,
know.
mhm.
So I'd say that album, the Black Album, Jay Z, Forest Hill Drive, J Cole, and then I would say, oh man, Rubber Factory, probably the Black Keys,
Nice.
or Attack and Release.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I'd say those are the albums.
Hell yeah,
And I don't
dude.
know if I can say this anymore. I mean, so pissed about it just because of how everything went down with him. But Graduation, Kanye West was a big influence.
I feel you there. It's one of those where you
Yeah.
wanna take it out on the person, but don't take it out on that album. I'm
Yeah,
with
I'm
you, I
just
feel you.
gonna
Yeah,
if
like,
we're gonna talk about snapshots of time in music, then Graduation, the album, was
right there.
influential on me, and I'll
Yes.
say that.
There you
Yeah,
go. I like
yeah,
it. I accept. I
yeah.
accept. That's badass. That's a badass top 5 right there. So,
Cool. Yeah.
new album. Are you guys writing a new album right now, or is this something you're gonna let Pretty Monster simmer for a little bit? Are you
Yeah, I
touring
mean,
on it or
we're touring Pretty Monster, right? So we did the Canada tour for Pretty Monster. We did the UK Europe tour. Now we have the US, and I do like to close the book on things before I move on. So, I mean, always kind of generating new material, but I'm really feeling like for the next one of going in like a really wild direction. So I'm trying to prep myself for that. So we'll see. Like a lot of the songwriting I get in bursts of like energy and phases. So wow, it sounds so hippie the way I just said that.
no,
Bursts of
no.
energy and like phases. No, I
No,
mean like
afterwards? Yeah.
I mean like I will get bursts of inspiration and then I'll ride those for a bit, but then it goes away. And then I focus on touring or whatever else I'm doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had quite a few bursts earlier this year, and I'm eager to see when the next ones come through after tour.
Nice, nice. So with the whole new era, we went through COVID era and it seems like that was just yesterday. 2019, everything was going. It was, the digital era was kind of upon us. COVID hits, everybody's in the house. Things like this here at the asylum startup, all these little startups on the internet start. People are writing. You got the SoundCloud rappers, all this stuff, and all of a sudden you start kind of noticing the turn in the tide of how we're hearing our new music. Meaning, who's doing albums? There's single
Mhm,
after single after single
mhm.
after single, but it's refreshing to see a band say, "Yeah, hell yeah, we put out an album and we're gonna tour on it, and you're gonna love it, and then we're gonna let it simmer, and then we're gonna go back and write another album." So what's your whole take on the singles to album? Like, where's your kinda decision making in that to say, "No, let's put this album out."
Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe we just come from like the era of listening through albums and like that's just how I was influenced the most. I wasn't like, of course, especially now, I'm influenced by singles from a lot of different artists,
Mhm,
and I enjoy that. But for the artists that I really hold dear, I love it when they produce a piece of work and they're like, here's a whole sort of family of songs that are within the same era for us and
mhm.
that come with their own imagery and feel and like visual sort of representation, whether it's like new artwork for the band or the artist or like a new look for the band or the artist, and that kind of like creates a little moment for me for that artist that I care about so much. So that's kind of how we want to do our music too, where it's like for our true fans, like we want to give them full pieces of work that they can sit and enjoy and then attach to times in their lives.
Yes.
And you can do that with singles. Don't get me wrong, you absolutely can. I can think of songs that make me feel nostalgic about something, but I just feel like an album just kind of carries more weight that way.
Yep,
So
I'm
yeah, we
I'm
we've
with
kind
you.
of we've been album guys through and through. And it's not to say that we didn't release singles and drip feed them in the past. But I think we learned from that and we learned from what our fans liked and we kind of stuck with the album formula and it's works.
Yeah, I dig it. As I have no musical talent in my body whatsoever. I don't even sing in the shower, that's how bad it is by myself.
Oh,
So
oh
I'm
dear.
on this side of the world, so as the consumer and the fan of just music overall, I'm with you. I don't mind the singles. It's great, I guess the biggest band that to do the most singles that come to mind is Bring Me the Horizon, right? They just
Okay.
popped off from 2020 to 20 to now. Seems like just a shit ton of singles,
Mhm.
no album.
And
But then
collabs, yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
how a
and
lot of
collabs,
artists are
right?
that's how they're
Which
doing it.
which were great. But then, like you say, you get into the nostalgia and as a fan, want a piece of art, and whether you hate them or love them, Metallica just dropped a new album.
Right.
And not only that, but it just causes so much stir for discussion, right? Like an
Mhm,
album,
mhm.
you start getting compared to the older albums, or or whatever. And I just think as a fan, I agree with exactly what you said. Of it's just it's more of a feeling. Like even
Yeah,
if we don't physically buy our CDs anymore, or maybe you do, or vinyl or whatever, it's still that album was the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very rare
yeah,
that you remember that single was badass. It's that album. That
yeah,
album was the best. So
yeah.
yeah, for sure. Join me right now here on the Asylum. It's Tarek from the Blue Stones. They are about to jump back on tour. They just did the UK tour. They are firing it back up May 17th in Cambridge, Massachusetts, running all the way through until June 23rd. Will I wrap it up in, is that Samina, Ontario, Canada? Did I get that right?
Oh, you're probably thinking Sarnia. Sarnia is
Oh, I see it
actually
now. I see it now.
my
Yeah.
birthplace. That's where I was born.
Okay. All right. No,
Yeah, I was
okay.
born
Home
in
proud.
Sarnia. I know, kinda
Bro.
strange, like,
Bro,
it's
that's awesome.
to go back there. We'll see.
That's awesome. Not to mention, you guys will have the stop right here in the backyard in Nashville at the Basement East with the Velveteers. That will be on May 23rd. You'll see all of us from the Asylum out there. You'll see Tarek from the Bluestones out there. Thank you so much, bro, for joining us. This has been awesome. Come back anytime, and we can't wait to see you guys on the 23rd. So,
Likewise, man. Thanks for having me.
all right. Thank you so much.